to the Crisco Kid Block Party.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I am excited to have my next guest on the show. He's gone viral a few times for some of his videos that they're just empowering children across the country, across the world. And he's gone from teacher to artist and to now author. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dwayne Reed.
Yo, welcome. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
It is. That's what time it is, man. So first of all, thank you so much for joining the show. You know, this year I started the Crisco Kid Book Party. And it's just something that I wanted to get back in doing and encouraging more people to read. We're doing adult books. We're doing fiction, nonfiction, self-help to business. And children's books are part of what we're doing as well. And when I had the opportunity to talk to you about your new book, Simon B. Ryman, I was like, you gotta have him on the show. It's a no-brainer, baby. It's a no-brainer.
Of course, man. Well, I'm glad that you had me on the show, and I can't wait to talk about Simon B. Ryman and some of the other cool things that we got going on here in the shop.
Yeah, so let's go back to like 2016 when, obviously Welcome to the Fourth Grade comes out. Everybody vibing with it. Kids are excited to start school. It's your first year teaching and kind of not knowing what to expect, or maybe you did, but I think you nailed it. You got the kids ready. And I think it was also low key probably getting you ready to go back to school too, right?
It definitely was. I was student teaching. It was the very beginning of my teaching, tenure. And instead of doing the boring, welcome back, my name is Mr. Reed, and I'm going to be your teacher, I had to bust out the, hello, I'm your teacher. My name's Mr. Reed, and it's very nice to meet you. I'm from Chicago. I love eating pizza, and I dress to impress, but I still rock sneakers. Had to do it for the kids. You feel me?
You had to give it to them one time, man. You had to. And I love the way that you make learning fun. It's very important to keep these students engaged now more than ever with so many distractions, so many other options to where people may not be valuing education, whether it's in the grade school level or even, college, as much as they might have used to, because there's so many ways to become an entrepreneur nowadays that education seems to kind of be on the back burner when it should be very front of mind. Both of my parents retired from education. So that's another reason why I wanted to talk to you, because just to let you know, I appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah. And shout out to your parents as well, for their service. I definitely want to honor them. But yeah, education seems to be, being pushed to the back in front of the TikTok, in front of YouTube, in front of unboxing gifts. And that, that's your way to make it big. But that's one thing that I really try to preach. Like, learning is cool. Like getting information and using it to help benefit others is cool. And that's something that, my main character, Simon Barnes, learns throughout the book that, learning can be really cool. So if I got to rap, if I got to stand on top of a table, if I got to come to your crib and eat your grandma's cooking, I'm going to do it if it's going to make you think that learning is cool.
Come here, son. Are you singing along already? Why did you find the need and what was in your heart to put out Simon B. Ryman?
Yeah, so man, I had it in my heart to put out Simon B. Ryman because it's a story of a young Black kid from the west side of Chicago who is afraid to use his voice. He's small for his age and he's got a really big head that makes him nervous, but he wants to be a big rapper. He has dreams. So throughout the story, Simon finds ways to, build up his confidence by the help of friends and family. And he actually begins to show, oh no, I can use this voice regardless of how small it is or regardless of how small I am. I wanted that message to go forth to every reader out there.
Right. And I love that because just from reading like the little excerpt that's on the website talking about it. And as you go along, this is already in like chapter 1, you do get the story behind it, but then you also get the fun part, which is like what you're known for, the rhyming part of Simon B. Ryman. And let's just I'm going to give a little clip of you doing your thing on the audio book, because that's important. Reading, even though we know it's fundamental, everyone should exercise their brain and their eyes, but some people prefer the audio books. And the way that you break it down with the Itsy Bitsy Spider remix, you got to appreciate. Let me run it one time.
Okay, the itsy bitsy spider was little like me, but he can make a web as big as a tree. Climb to the top and be so free, cause the itsy bitsy spider was little like me.
So like my son loves that because it's like a whole nother way to do the Itsy Bitsy Spider. But then also you do talk about real things in the book too, and you lay it down with music as well, or at least on the audio book like this.
All this action, things gon' happen. Victor, Justin, right there laughing. Bobby's mocking, CJ's watching. Riri's mad, so she starts talking. I wish I could get to walking or speak up, but that's no option. So I'm plotting, thinking, planning, feel like screaming, but I'm standing still. Things just feel too real. I wanna dip, I wanna pill. I really wanna leave this scene, then Bobby wouldn't be so mean. I know my head's the biggest shape, but all of us have things we hate about ourselves that we would fix if we knew magic or some tricks. And I would stand on 50 sticks if it would make me 6'6". I'm happy for my friends who help, but I wish I could defend myself. Woo!
Music is transcendent. It don't matter if you white, black, rich, poor, wherever you live, you're going to hear a beat and you're going to start to bob your head. You're going to start to tap your foot. So I just figured, why not do what I know already works for everybody and then just make it make sense? So even in my teaching, it's ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. It's going to rhyme and it's going to sound good. And in my writing, it's the same thing. Simon communicates himself and he maps out his future by way of rhyme in his mind.
I think you have an upper hand in creating children's literature because you get to talk to the kids, whether it's been virtually the past year or so, or just your experience before. How much of that kind of got you in or gave you like a little advantage while you were writing this book, a different perspective?
Man, I think it gives me the greatest upper hand. For the last 4 or 5 years, I've been speaking to 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12-year-olds every single day, 5 days a week for 180 days a year. So, I get to almost be on the ground with them, hearing what things they like. Is it okay for me to still make Fortnite jokes? Can I talk about Roblox? Yes, I'll watch that TikTok video and try to do the dance with you. So I'm getting to hear what things they like and literally hear how they speak to one another. And of course, I'm going to take from that and I'm say, okay, cool. Let me put this in the book. So man, I've got the greatest upper hand advantage in the world.
Yeah. You know what? And this is where I want to ask your advice. And just what your experience has been when talking to your students about COVID-19, though, because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of parents, there's a lot of teachers across the country that are so divided on should we get the kids back in school or should we just kind of wait? But then you got to look at the mental health of a lot of the students as well. What's one thing or a couple of things that you've seen from the teacher side that the children are going through? And what do you feel kind of might be best for your students that other districts or other teachers might be able to start implementing?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, like most kids or a lot of kids, my kids have been saying, man, I miss my friends. I miss being in a school building. We all miss those relationships. Teachers, educators, principals, parents, everybody misses those relationships. But what I think has been cool is to see everyone's resilience. I think it's been cool to see how people have bounced back in the ways that they've bounced back in their own setting. What I want is to be back in school. However, I want it to be safest for everyone, right? Everybody doesn't have the same opportunities. Everybody don't got the same spacing, got the same resources. So I just want for it to be the safest so that we can get back to making those relationships and get back to making learning fun again.
Yeah. You said something key right there. You said a couple of key things right there. But talking about equal opportunities, and I'm going to stick with that because there seems to be a gap or a void in children's literature that can reach everyone, right? Not just a certain demographic, but we need to have books that can relate to all people, all cultures, everyone. How do you feel that we can start filling that or maybe encouraging authors to kind of get in that lane?
Yeah, man, I think authors have been in this lane, right? So I'm even thinking of Jason Reynolds writing Ghost, and I'm even thinking that in the track series, I'm thinking of Kwame Alexander, who wrote The Crossover, which is one of my kids' favorite books. So there's been authors who are in this lane. I think it's encouraging those aspiring authors to be themselves. Like if you even think of the title of my book, it's called Simon B. Ryman. Like it is not grammatically correct, but it's correct because that's how we get down here, and that's what I want to communicate. So I think telling these authors, tell the true, authentic story. And if it's rhyming instead of rhyming, then that's what you need to tell.
I thought the title was something similar to that for two ways, because it looks like a name and it's describing what Simon is doing. He'd be rhyming,
Yeah, man.
Wordplay right there, man. I thought it was a clever wordplay. Mr. Dwayne Reed, what do you hope that every child, that every parent takes away from Simon B. Ryman?
Great question, Crisco. I hope that every child finds a love for reading. If they're on the fence with reading and, well, it's boring and I haven't found the right, I hope that Simon B. Ryman is the right text for them and that it helps them develop a love for reading that never stops. I also hope that they see that, they can speak up for themselves. You don't have to be an adult. You don't have to be big. You don't have to be loud. You do have to use your voice, though. So I hope they leave with that. And for the parents and for those, the grownups in children's worlds, I pray that they would see this book and they would see an opportunity to push their child to be a help in the community. Again, you don't have to be a certain age. You don't have to be a certain color. You don't have to make a certain amount of money. You don't have to live in a certain place. You can make a change wherever you are by using whatever your superpower is.
That is why you're one of America's favorite teachers. We're going to keep the party moving, but I got Mr. Reed's favorite songs. And then I'm going to ask if you got any more content coming out. What's the latest songs from you?
So, like you mentioned, I did have that mask song that came out. It's called Little Mask, encouraging, people everywhere on proper mask, awareness. Here's how you put the mask on. It goes over your mouth and over your nose. And you can be a hero in protecting yourself and others. I do have other content coming out. I'm waiting on my baby to come out first. Once my baby come out, then I'm going to put, some more heat out. But for right now, you got that Little Mask joint people can check out online.
Yeah. Now, okay. We're going to come down to a couple of your favorite joints that we can play right now because I see you rocking a Chance hat. Shout out to the three. You know what I'm saying? I see it every time. Chicago's got some of my favorite artists like Kanye West, Common. I mean, that's just to name a couple.
I'm a biggest Chance fan. Shout out to Chance the Rapper. I love, he's conscious, but he's also mad lyrical. So shout out to Chance the Rapper. Man, his whole acid rap mixtape or album did it for me. And of course, the album, The Big Day that he just came out, he was celebrating his wife and celebrating Black love. That's my tip every single day of the week, man. So shout out to him that way. I love old school Kanye. Don't get me wrong. I love old school Kanye, man. College Dropout, I'm a huge fan of. I was really big into Lupe Fiasco too. First and 15th, man, Food and Liquor. So I really, that's what really got me into just the lyrical aspect. Oh, you can weave words together this way and it be intelligent and it could be something that's cool. Oh yeah, Food and Liquor was my joint. So, and then right now, man, I'm really rocking with Durkio. I really like Lil Durk. So The Voice. So shout out to Lil Durk, man. It's funny. With my scholars, I'll type in the word. I say, Pooh Shiesty, that's my dog. I'll type it into the chat box and they all respond, but Pooh, I'm really shiesty. So I really like Lil Durk, man.
Hey, I think you're at like that fun age to where they just starting to explore. They're curious. They want to have fun at the same time. And like their brains are just like soaking it all in, man. Yeah. Dwayne Reed, Mr. Reed, if you can give it all your social media, all the information on how they can get Simon B. Ryman and add it to their little book collection. How can we do that?
For sure. Y'all can check out Simon B. Ryman on any online retailer. Go ahead and cop that. Y'all can do indie retailers as well, anywhere that you want, anywhere books are sold. And you can check me out at Teach Mr. Reed on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. Shoot, you want to send me an email or snail mail, I will reply. It might take 6 to 8 weeks, but you're going to get something back from me. Holla at me.
Much love, man. Much love. Mr. Dwayne Reed.
Thanks for having me on here.